the margaritas had nothing to do with that stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah, right. Yeah. If I was
Did
in
you
a
put a seat
sober
on the
mind,
bike by any chance?
yeah, seats on the bike. Seats on the bike.
That's because it's for Chrissy and not for him. He goes fancy.
It's a very special seat on Derek's.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what you guys are trying to infer here, but Well, good to be back with you guys. Oh man, I just drilled my hand on the side of my desk, and I think there's like a nail that's open, and it's like they cut my fucking hand.
Oh,
This is what
casualty.
happens when you fucking drink.
This is the first injury in the history of the podcast.
Fucking drink on a daily basis.
Yeah, we got to change that stupid sign that they have behind the deli counters now. 0 days without injury.
God, I'm fucking bleeding right now.
Do you get workman's comp for this?
I don't know, but I'm just fed up, guys. I'm just fucking tired of this. I'm fucking bleeding. Failed to construct a bike. There's no sports. There's a pile of beers in front of me and a seltzer or Truly right here. I don't know, guys. How much longer of this can we take?
I'm just trying to stay cool over here.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, the fact that we can keep a sports gambling podcast going when there's no sports for like 4 or 5 weeks, it's pretty impressive, frankly.
Just imagine what's going to happen when sports are back. And what's going to be difficult then is that all the sports are going to come back at once.
Yep.
And we're not going to know what to do. Like, we're going to be like, oh, we could talk about football. We could talk about college football. Like, all the sports might happen at the same time, which might be a good topic. I recorded something real quick, 12 minutes yesterday. I'm not sure if you guys had time to listen, but that's kind of where my mindset's at right now in terms of I don't necessarily think that we're going to have sports with fans in it through the rest of 2020. I don't think college football happens. NFL football was like on the edge of, and we all talking before the podcast about how Trump had that call with all the commissioners, and he quote unquote expects NFL football to happen on time in September. We'll see about that. Does that mean with fans, without fans? I think that's TBD. It's all up in the air.
I think he might mean they're going to devise a new electric football stadium, and they're going to do that little fucking magnet thing. That's what he means is coming back. Because there's no fucking shot it's coming back regular time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It sucks. I think that the NBA, and I bet on the NBA to come back first at plus 300, and that's actually now down to plus 225 all of a sudden this morning. But then I read something either late last night or early this morning. Again, when you have margaritas and you're drinking on a Friday night with nothing else to do, it all blends together. But I read that the NBA, I forget who tweeted it out. I want to say it was Woj or maybe Mark Stein. Or who's the fat guy that used to be the Cleveland Cavalier? Windhorse.
He just follows LeBron.
Yeah. I think it was actually him. Windhorse. I have no idea how he got that job. I mean, he's not bad. He's not made for TV.
He's essentially just the LeBron beat. Like he followed him. He started in Cleveland, then he goes to Miami, then he's back to Cleveland. Now he's just the LeBron reporter.
I don't know that he ever intended to be on TV either. Like I think he was just like a beat reporter, and they just had good takes.
Yeah,
and also access to LeBron.
He is a good reporter, and he got, I guess, hooked up by the whole LeBron thing. But he was saying that there's growing pessimism and that they're leaning towards right now just canceling the year, meaning nothing would happen. LeBron wouldn't be able to get to the finals for his 10th time. The Bucks, quest for 70 wins. It looked like they might have gotten to 68, 70 wins. That's not going to happen. I still think Adam Silver is going to figure out a way to have some sort of like tournament, some like Olympic style tournament, like all the teams in one place, and maybe just the standings are the standings, and you have, I don't know about 16 teams, but have some sort of tournament for people to watch. People need that, man. Something.
Yeah, but me and you were talking a little bit before the podcast. I think everyone's a little gun shy because the worst thing that you can possibly do is come back too early, and somebody gets sick, and then you got to shut it down all over again.
Yeah.
Even though like
the fallout.
Exactly. And, even though the majority of it's run through the teams a little bit, you hear splatterings here and there of, oh, this guy's got it, this guy's, but it hasn't really manifested in like, there hasn't been like a whole team that got sick. Like, I think the Jazz is probably the team that was affected most. They had like 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah. But the Brooklyn Nets had 4 guys.
That's true too.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just, if they want this to happen, they would need to test everybody, throw everybody on like a college campus in the middle of America, and you would need to limit the media. Like if you want to have this on TV, you're obviously going to have media and cameramen. You need to test everybody, which means that testing would have to happen for every single person. There's not a chance in hell that there's a vaccine for it. So you need to make sure that everybody's tested, or take chances, take a risk and say if someone has it, they're able to play. I don't think that's happening. Not a shot in hell. Not a shot in hell.
You would need to test people literally every day and have some
take
sort of
their temperature.
Exactly. Like it's not feasible at this point.
I mean, as far as the cameraman and the media stuff goes, though, I mean, you certainly could do remote camera, but it's going to be way different angles than we're all used to. It's going to be a little different, but that could potentially happen. I mean, fuck, we can send a drone over to anywhere and see it just like we're right there. I mean, they definitely could use those sky cams and shit, but keeping everyone healthy from day to day, they literally have to keep them in like a quarantined room.
Right.
Like a sealed room with like only people touching them that are also in sealed rooms. Like, how are they even going to eat? It seems like way too much to like undertake.
Yeah, you would have to have
way too much
help come in. You would have to have I think it's pretty easy to keep everybody on that campus. Say they like try to do it on a college campus. I think that can definitely happen. But then you would have a bunch of other people coming in, and how many weeks in a row can you keep them all there? You can't have a 2-month playoff on like a college campus in like say University of Nebraska or like Oklahoma. I don't see it working. Maybe you get like the top 4 teams with the best record and do some sort of tournament. But yeah, the more and more that we talk through and the more and more that we think about it, I think we're now realizing why they're so pessimistic. It's tough. And this isn't going away right now. Like I know Tokyo has a bunch of new cases. It's starting to get a little bad in Tokyo. I don't think anybody believes the China numbers now. And my fear,
not a chance.
No, not a chance at all. My personal fear is that there are no sports with fans until a vaccine is developed for this. And that's heavy right there. Like that means that we go a year at the least, right? Without fans in sports.
At least another 10 months, right?
Yeah. The only other option to that would be if by any luck that because like you get exposed to this and then you build up some sort of immunity and then you can't get it, like the chicken pox. You can't get it again. That's the only other hope that we really have.
We also have to hope that there's no mutation before that can happen, before we can all establish like immunity, right?
Right.
God, again, I said this last week, but this fuck this.
Yeah, it's a fucking
just depressing.
Fuck this. Because they're definitely not going to have college football because you can't have 70, 100,000 people at a game. Colleges might not even start back in September. They might be doing what they're doing now, drinking on Zoom in their classes. And like that might be happening. And I heard a couple people this week say that the new goal might be have college football occur in the winter and spring of 2021. But again, and it's impossible to say right now because it's only April 4th. But I mean, who's to say that next January is going to be any different than this September? It's going to be any different than this June. I mean, I don't think if everybody's taking as many precautions as they want to, as they need to, and I think it's safe to say that everybody has, or else things wouldn't be entirely closed down. You got to wait until there's like almost 0 cases of this fucking virus, right?
Yeah. And it's, they're very optimistic about the NFL starting on time, which, it sounds great. But the idea of the NFL starting in September means that NFL activities are starting in like a month and a half. And there's no way that there's, any type of fairness to where, say, training camps start early August and the Cincinnati Bengals camp, somebody's infected. They have to shut everything down for 2 weeks. They have to then shut the other 31 teams
everything
down for 2 weeks.
You would shut everything down.
Because it's, just in the nature of fairness, you can't have 31 teams able to practice and one team not be able to practice for 2 weeks. Like it's impossible.
Very good point. Like there's just so much risk too, because all right, say that testing continues to get ramped up, and I think that the U.S. has actually tested like 1.5 million people so far. Say that it's ramped up to the point that like all these athletes can get tested. You would need the training staff. You would need all the help. You would need all these things to happen because they don't necessarily train in their home cities too. Like they train outside. Like the Cowboys train in where? In California, maybe?
Fort Worth, maybe?
Oh yeah, because they used to have it in Southern California, and perhaps they changed
I think you're right. I think once the Rams and the Chargers moved into LA, I think that moved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the option for virtual training, though, as we've all seen, is there. I think the training camp stuff could be, but like you said, once people have to be on the field, trainers have to be there once they start playing physical football. I mean, the support staff for football itself is just fucking, it's huge.
And
I don't see how
that's also just a shitty look to have, 15 trainers standing around at a football practice when everything you read in the news is that we're woefully understaffed in these hospitals to try to deal with everything.
Right.
Yeah, they certainly could probably help somewhere else.
That's also a good point, and maybe something that I haven't even thought about. Yeah. Medical professionals tending to, fucking Joe Flacco, or is he even still in the league?
I think he's a free agent, actually.
Joe Flacco, free agent.
Home picking his nose anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But tending to these guys when they could be in a hospital in New York or anywhere in the country, or there's going to be other states that haven't even seen the worst yet, like Florida, where they're still allowed to, go out and go to church and the beaches.
Do whatever the hell they want. Yeah.
Yeah. Do whatever the hell they want. But it's going to be a long
time. There's too
many
guns down there to regulate them. They're like, we can't tell these people what to do. They have guns.
We got to brainstorm ideas of what to stream to people to get people to watch, to care about something, because there's limited things to care about besides Tiger King, and there's a new Jordan documentary coming out in April, I hear.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's 10 parts, I think I heard. That's insane.
Too much. That's too goddamn much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that kind of time.
We might.
I guess I do, actually. Yeah, I mean, I just watched Ozark in a weekend, so.
Yeah, technically I do, but I find myself a lot of times at night streaming through social media, reading. I read a lot right now. I'm reading. It's not about sports. I mean, it's maybe like a little 10% about NFL free agency, but it's a lot of just what's happening with the virus, testing, just new thoughts of what can happen. I mean, there's so many things out there in terms of there's stuff that my brother sent me about people that have been in the ICU, something about it's like affecting their brain. It's like post-trauma of that, and they're finding issues with that. Stuff about like type O and type A blood, and what are you more susceptible to get it if you're type O or A? So you guys can correct me. A.
I'm type O over here, so
I don't even know what type I am.
I have no idea what type I am.
I've definitely gotten blood
figure
work.
that out. That's a pretty important thing to know.
Probably not great.
Well, in a trauma situation, or especially in an end of the world situation, which who the fuck knows if we're going to face that soon.
Yeah.
You definitely want to understand what